What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I'm super excited to get with you guys because today we are going to be talking about the NFL. But you know, when it's Hump Day, it's the Sports Lounge Media, and we're super excited to get with you today. Yeah, the stage is set. Looks like it's 3-1 on both sides on the Western and Eastern Conference. We're gonna drop it for you and give you guys a little bit of our predictions and what we think is bound to happen to see if anybody's going to pull out a game 7 or these games over. All those questions will be answered. But before we get into it, let's hand it over to our sponsor. Our sponsors. Mark?
Our sponsors. Hey, welcome everybody. So again, our sponsors we are here. We are powered by the Mogul brand. That is the biggest one in the Diamond Collection. So you just got to hit up www.poweredby
TMB.com.
Thank you. Sorry, I was getting letters mixed up, guys. And then we have Number One Sports Fan, who takes care of all shirts, hats, and everything you need, any type of decals, all of that. We have, wait, that was Cali Boat Graphics. I'm sorry. I got everything mixed up right now. My head is a jumble. We have Number One Sports Fan located in Tulare, Visalia, Hanford, and their new location located in Tulare. If you need any of your Super Bowl merchandise to support coming into this NFL season, as it is less than, it is what? How many days, guys?
How many days? 100 days away.
100 days.
But I think it's less than that to a Hall of Fame game on the 31st of July.
Something like that. 9 days. You need your Super Bowl merchandise? Just hit up Number One Sports Fan.
And who is the Super Bowl champions to get the Super Bowl merchandise? That's Philadelphia. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it ain't happening this year though.
Okay.
And last but not least, we have Brian Martino Construction. Just hit up Brian Martino at Brian Martino Construction, and any job $10,000 or more, he will give you $1,000 off if you mention the Sports Lounge Media. So to our sponsors, we thank you all. We appreciate you all what you're helping us do, and just continue to sit there and go at these websites and hit up these guys. Each of them have their own Instagram pages, Facebooks, all the social medias. They have everything taken care of. So hit them up and see what they got going on. So we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so super excited again about today. We're going to jump into the questions right away. We're going to knock them out so you guys can get back to your game because I believe it's almost halftime, or it is halftime. Yeah, we got 2 minutes and 53 seconds till halftime, so we're hopefully get through all these, and so you guys can get to the third quarter. So we're gonna hand it over to our moderator and our person that keeps us in check. Always, the wonderful Sarai.
Hey, also, happy Wednesday. Let's talk about NBA and let's talk about the Western and Eastern conferences, and I want to get y'all's recaps, a little bit of intake about how you guys feel this basketball season is going to end. Let's start with some recap, Dupree. What have you seen so far?
Well, as much as we've wanted the Timberwolves and the Knicks to win, it's been 3-1 both the other ways for the other teams that nobody even expected for. The Pacers are finally looking like they may go to a finals since they had Reggie Miller. And it looks like the others will go there as well right now with OKC since they had Kevin Durant. So it's been a crazy one. I don't know if anyone's really going to pull off a game 7. Everybody's only won one game out of everything. Mm-hmm. So they got to pull out some upsets over here.
Yeah, it looks like it's all heading towards one side on both Western and Eastern Conference. What do we think, Mike?
Yeah, so, one of the things that I will say is that, Minnesota does have more of a complete team. I think they have, Rudy Gobert over there. They have, Daniels. They have Ant-Man and all of that. I mean, and the supporting cast, Mike Conley and all these guys. And it looked like they could be really dominant and really a threat given the fact of who they went through. And when they met up with OKC, one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that OKC has been inconsistent. Now, they did start off the season, I believe, 10-18. And we thought, like, okay, so what's going to happen when they face against a Denver, a Warriors, a Laker, a Memphis, or any of these other teams that does have those experiences and be able, can they get over the hump? And it looks like SGA is playing MVP basketball. The most I wouldn't say depressing, but the most disappointment that I've had was in Ant. Like, dude is a baller. I love his aggressiveness. I love his attack. But you've seen the finesse from SGA of like how he controls the game, how he can, dominate in ways that nobody really thought he could dominate in. In 2 of the games, he was 30 plus, I believe, and that held them over. The interesting part about OKC too is the fact that they have Chet and other supporting cast that we didn't know. Who's the big guy? Something Stein. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Hertenstein or whatever his name is. They're big, so they moved Chet over to the 4, and that made them a little bit more dominant. And then you have to set that up on the Western Conference Finals, like who has the better bench at this particular point. And to this point, you've seen spurts of the Timberwolves bench, like Naz Reid and all these guys that are coming off the bench, be really dominant. But for some reason in this series, they just can't get it together and put it all together. And it's been really heartbreaking to see, because I think the Timberwolves are better than what they're showing us. But they're going to learn from this, and they're going to come back stronger next year. Unfortunately, they're probably going to lose a couple of pieces and then add a couple of pieces, and we'll see what that looks like. They already got rid of Towns, so
Right.
I mean, they're really trying to figure that out. And then on the flip side, I'm not impressed at all with Tyrese Halliburton or whatever his name is. I'm not. He's a showboat. He does all this crazy stuff. He's just not really that dominant. You know what I'm saying? And it's really been, if you watch Nesmith carried him in one game, right? Then you had Miles Turner carry him in another game. It really hasn't been him. He's been really inconsistent in this playoff series, where Jalen Brunson's been really carrying the load like he did last year. The question now for the Knicks is Jalen Brunson, are you going to wear him down to the point where he's going to degress just the way that D Rose did? Because I think if they don't get him supporting cast, because obviously Hart can't do it. I mean, there's been, you've seen Towns come in and score a lot of points, but you really haven't seen them play together as a team to be able to be dominant. And that's what you need to beat these teams that go on these little runs. That's what the Pacers live and die by. If you've seen the game that they lost, it was because they held them to their runs. They go on 10-2 runs. They go on these 15-7 runs. So if you keep them lower in the runs, then you'll be able to be competitive and dominate them. And I think that's what OKC can do, is because OKC is dominant from jump ball all the way to the finish line. So that's going to be an interesting series to see. I'm going to go OKC. I'm going to switch my take, say OKC, and it's going to be the Pacers. Pacers will finish it up. OKC finish it up today, and then we'll see that finals happen. I'm going to ride with OKC just because they have the MVP over there and they play from start to finish. They don't play in runs.
Well, and I was just going to say, like, going back and kind of piggybacking off, like, what you were talking about with the Timberwolves, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, how did they even beat the Lakers? Like, you're absolutely correct. Like, Timberwolves do have a lot more potential. So, yeah, it's kind of been disheartening to see.
Well, in that game with the Lakers, it was evident that they were missing a center. And then in that last game, the closeout game, Rudy Gobert scored 27 points in that game because they started attacking that center position more. Finley Smith is not as tall as Gobert, not even close. Then they sat Haynes the entire game. That's their 7-footer. So I could see where the Lakers lost that game. They lost that game because they didn't have a center, and they rescinded that the way where they could have a center. And they obviously that they'll fix that in the offseason. But I mean, they're dominant though. I mean, you got to
Yeah,
give it to
sure.
Timberwolves. They're hungry. They're dominant. And like I said, it's one of those things. It's passing the torch type thing. Same thing with the how did
maybe
was
they're
it
lacking
Denver?
heart.
Huh?
Maybe they're lacking heart.
In this series, yeah. I think they had a lot of heart going into it. It's now 30-60, 61 almost going into half, 51 seconds.
Okay.
But like Denver, you got Jokic, right? You got Jokic in that
Mhm.
team and playing against OKC, I believe, and they fell short, and that can tell you a little bit about where the heart is of OKC winning that series.
Right.
What happens to Jokic next year? We'll find out and see what happens to Giannis, what happens to some of these guys, Durant. We'll find out. Obviously, they're going to go on and to make super teams and see what they could do and be in the mix. But the West has always been dominant. The West has always been like, if you want to win championships, like if Minnesota, when Vegas is coming with their expansion team, Vegas is going to the Western Conference side. Minnesota is scheduled or subject to change to Eastern Conference. That's going to make that conference, Eastern Conference, a lot stronger, and it's going to be more competitive. But yeah,
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Mark? Tell me your recap. Let's talk basketball.
So first off, I'm going to rebuttal on exactly he said. You don't see who is it? They said don't you see taking over the game? Halliburton, and he showboats.
Yeah.
I mean, what about your LeBron James? I mean, that dude does nothing but try to showboat.
Where does he do gestures like Ja Morant with the gun? Where does he do gestures as choking somebody? Where does he do gestures as throwing a bomb into the stands? When did he show?
Every game.
What is? Yeah, what is that? What is that?
Exactly. What is that?
It's not.
Who never did
He's
that?
not he ain't threatening
Michael
nobody.
Jordan.
That's not.
It's just today's social media. That's how it is. Do I agree with it? No, I do not agree with it whatsoever. But I'm gonna say this: when it comes to showboating, everyone does it in the NBA. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter who it is. Hey, you want to call someone out for choking in a big game? Call them out. I got no problem with that. Because you're not supposed to win. The Pacers were not supposed to win. So yes, 100%, they are choking. Reggie Miller showed that same sign because the Pacers were not supposed to win when Reggie Miller had the chance to go back to the NBA Finals and they lost in the finals. They were not supposed to be there. So yes, my answer is I got no problem with when it comes to that aspect. The whole gun shooting and stuff like that, that just shows maturity. But showboating is across the board.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest portraits of all time was Dwayne Wade when LeBron James on the alley-oop dunked it, and Dwayne Wade right there and right in front of him. That's showboating.
But there's what I'm saying.
There are a lot of players that actually do that.
But I'm saying that there's a line though, right? Like that's cool. Throwing up the three when you hit a three. What's up? All that. It's all cool.
Who's the one? What's that one where they do this? Who does that?
I got three on my mind.
Yeah.
I got three on my mind.
What's the point?
Ice in my veins.
Yeah.
Like those are things. Those are indirect things. Those are not to direct them. I'm talking about the gun shooting at people. I'm talking about throwing the bomb and closing your ears. I'm talking about choking somebody. I'm talking about those. Those are over the line, bro.
Somebody. He was choking himself. He's saying you're all choking. You all choked. Hey, it is what it is. Showboating.
You all choke. It's direct.
Because they choked. The Knicks were supposed to be in the.
You're not getting the point, but I got you. It's cool.
No. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yes, it might.
There's a level of showboating.
They all showboat.
They do. All players do showboat.
All.
Yes, they do. All players. I agree.
Now, are some more aggressive than others? Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe more explicit than others.
Like I wish somebody would. I'll be on a basketball court and somebody point a gun with their fingers at me. Like that's different. Like if you do a throw up a three, okay, cool. But if you're pointing at me like this, or you're doing stuff like this, or you're throwing a bomb and closing your ears like this, like we're gonna have problems. There's problems.
But that's where it comes to the maturity that I'm by all means, it's going to happen. I'm having to get used to it. Do I agree with it? No, I don't think there should be any showboating. I don't think you need to have some stupid rituals to start a game.
Mhm.
You know, when they announce your name, you walk out. You 5 teammates, cool, let's go. Locked in. Not
Right.
all this other showboats. I mean, it's across the league. I don't. It's any sport.
Is it okay? Is it okay to go like this?
I don't think there should be anything.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you have to sit there to acknowledge, okay, do you need to sit there, as men of God, do we all have our struggles? Every person has their struggles.
Mhm.
Do we not? Does everyone agree?
Agreed.
Do you
I'm
need to
perfect.
sit there?
But you go ahead.
Do you need to sit there and constantly do people have to know? Oh, no, you don't sit there just because you make the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Hey, that doesn't make you a Christian. That doesn't mean you're thanking God.
You're missing the concept though. But
No.
When I go out there,
All right, let's get back
and
to the recap.
And I'm doing this, Father. I'm saying for my protection, whatever my prayer may be out of my mouth, when I step onto this floor, God protect me, God help me, God make sure that you don't like nothing happens to me bad, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. It's not telling people I'm a Christian. It's for me. This is for me. This is not for you. This is for me, and it's me and God. Just like when you go to church, it's for you and God. It's not for you and the other Christian.
But the whole point is people are like, oh, well, I do this for this reason. I do this for that reason. Everyone does things for a certain reason. It's whether it's spiritual, whether it's maturity, whatever it is. Okay. I don't need to sit there and make the symbolisms to sit there like, oh, yes, I'm a Christian. No, you want to pray? Let's pray. You want to sit there and talk about it? Let's talk about it. But when it comes to sports, no, I've disagreed with it the entire time. I disagreed with showboating in Major League Baseball. I can't stand it. Act like you've hit a home run before. You can celebrate number 1. You can celebrate the record breaker. If you hit number 763, you can celebrate it. If you hit number 74 in a regular season, you can celebrate it. But act like you've done it before. If you score a touchdown, act like it. You hit a 3, act like it. Don't act like you've never done this stuff before. It's become where it's nothing but a showboat. I got to see what this way they can get onto social media. That's what all this is about. That's the problem. They want because as you guys call it, you call it clout. I got to sit there. I got to follow. They're going after the media because that's how they're making a name for themselves.
Right.
They got to make sure they're on a highlight reel. What do they show on the highlight reel on a big time dunk or on a big time 3? It's not the fact that my answer is you hit a big time 3, show the 3, done. No, they show the celebration, all this other stuff the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a media content. That's what they're trying to push across all of media. So in my opinion, does showboating need to happen? Showboating should happen when you win an NBA championship, a World Series, the Super Bowl. Celebrate. You deserve it. You break a record, you deserve it. But if you hit, Steph Curry's hit how many threes? LeBron James, when he hit 50,000 points, man, I respect it. You played in a crap ton of games where to hit 50,000 points. Celebrate it. Acknowledge it.
But don't let it just be just the one, basically, is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I think showboating needs to stop across the entire sports industry. Act like you've done something. Celebrate the first one. Celebrate the record breakers. That's it. But it's never going to happen. Unfortunately, it can't be my way.
All right.
Because trust me, when I played back in the day, when I hit a home run, and I did, I got a broken forearm, and I had to have a steel plate put into it because I hit a bomb off a kid when I was getting ready to go to college. We both were fighting for the same scholarship. I showed him up. Guess what happened next pitch? I got drilled. Broke my forearm in 5 ways. That's how we settle it. You don't disrespect people.
Okay.
So that's my thing. So the showboating thing, unfortunately, do I agree with it? Man, I think it needs to stop. I think they need to start hitting people with technicals. I think they need to stop it because what's happening with this younger generation? What's happening with the kids now? They're looking up to these sports athletes like I did when I was, a young kid. I had my favorite athletes. Like I know your kids have their favorite athletes. What do? Oh. No. Play like you actually done something.
And that's that. Yes.
I was like, and if you're losing and I see you celebrate, and I'm the coach, I'm the general manager, your ass is getting taken out the game. And you're sitting rest of it. And you're sitting the next one. I will take a loss over sit there having some bullcrap like that. That's my personal opinion. They need to start having coaches that stand up, but the problem is you got players that are like, it's no longer the coaches that run the teams.
Mhm.
It's super teams and the superstars that are on the team. Nope, I don't like this coach. Get him out. LeBron James had how many coaches in the last 7 years?
Get him out of there. We losing. We get him out.
Okay, if you're losing, but the problem is it the coach or is it the player?
It's the coach.
How is it the coach? It's the players that are on the court. It's the players that are on the field.
It's the coach that calls the critical calls.
Let's go to NFL. Let's talk. Let's bring up. Long story short, you guys are all. Well, two of you are Eagles fans. Okay.
Go Birds.
Everyone hates the Cowboys.
Two of us know. I got it. Two of us know better. Okay. What?
Dak Prescott is a great regular season quarterback. Is the problem Dak Prescott or is it the coaching? No, it's Dak Prescott. It's the guys that are on the field. They make audibles. They make play changes. Stop blaming the coaches.
The coach.
No, it's not the coach. The coach is just the patsy.
We might have to run a poll on our media to see if it's a coach or the player.
If Dak Prescott was on the Lions,
Dak Prescott's the Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
You put Dak Prescott on the Detroit Lions, as good as they were this last year, he is a Super Bowl champion. You put Dak Prescott on the Philadelphia Eagles, he is a Super Bowl champion.
Because it's a coaching thing.
No, it's not a coaching. It's because you get egos that are too large for their britches that they want. It's all about them. What can they put money in their pocket? They are trying. Everything is about making them notable in the social media world. Their likeness. That's why in college football, obviously we know I'm a big Tennessee Volunteer fan. I'm a diehard Vol. I am a Vol for life.
We would never know that.
NIL, name, image, and likeness deals are killing college. Guess what? Those things are the same exact thing in the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NFL, hockey, all of it. Their likeness and their names, that is what puts money in. It's the advertising. They get more money off of advertisements than they do actually in their NBA and NFL and MLB contracts. Marshawn Lynch has been retired from the NFL how many years? He still has not touched his actual, they say he still has not touched his salary. Rob Gronkowski still has not touched his salary. Living all off of everything that he has, the advertisements and all this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Social media, just the news world, everything before, back when we were younger, you used to have to read the newspaper. You had one picture for the sports page. That was it.
We're talking age now.
Yeah, we're talking all the way back to the
You
newspaper.
said newspaper, and I can recall yeah, I think you're right.
But it's true though. It's like this was the biggest play of the game. That's what made front page news of the sports page. Not everything. Not
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get at. So the whole showboating, unfortunately, we can't control it.
I get that.
So what they're going to do is they're going to do. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. But obviously going off that rant, I'm going to go back to it. When it comes to the Knicks and the Pacers have showed out. Halliburton has showed he is an NBA player. He is there. He can lead a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he has other people that have played, that have filled in the voids. LeBron James has too. Dwayne Wade has also. Jokic has also. There's games that Jokic has been down. Who picked him up? Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray. When Tim Duncan was down, who do you have? Manu Ginobili. When Michael Jordan was down, who do you have? Oh, that's right. Jordan didn't need that.
And Scottie Pippen, he's never lost. He never won a game without Scottie.
He won quite a few games. He actually has quite a few wins when he was on the Wizards and played in 80 games. But what I'm getting
he did win a trophy with the Wizards. You're right.
Yeah, he did.
Well, it wasn't a fight.
But what I'm getting at though is everybody
making a point. We're getting there, y'all. We're getting there.
Nobody has ever been perfect every game. Everybody's going to have down games, and that's what makes it great about a team. That's why you have to have the most balanced team. The Knicks
Not in
do
the
not have
playoffs
most
though. You
balanced
got to
team.
be you got to
The
have
Knicks
some
don't have
type
the
of
most balanced
consistency.
team. The Pacers have a
You-
more balanced team than the Knicks do, and it shows. That's why the Pacers are up 3-1.
Mhm.
OKC, do I agree that they have a more balanced team? I don't. I do agree with you guys. Minnesota has a more balanced team.
Mhm.
But the problem is they don't have a bench.
Minnesota?
Minnesota doesn't have a good enough bench to stop. When you have those guys, I mean, yeah, you've had the other Alexander. He had a decent game.
Right.
But they're not putting up starting numbers. When you get your bench players can be starter, in a starting role, it's about knowing what can I do. You have to double team SGA. He's showing there's a reason why he's MVP. He knows how to play.
Okay.
So to me, Anthony Edwards is the face of the NBA. But Anthony Edwards is going to struggle until he gets one more person on that team. It can't just be him and Rudy Gobert. And the problem is Gobert is getting up there in age, so you don't know which Gobert is going to show up, because you guys said it. He had 27 points in the last game against the Lakers.
Right.
He gave him a shellacking.
Right.
Last game he had, what, 4?
And then Michael Conley has a
I'm gonna have to disagree on that. I think Minnesota has a better bench.
I'm just saying.
Then
I
Minnesota-
think we're lacking hard. I think Minnesota is definitely lacking hard, and you could tell. I mean, the
I
scoring.
mean, they got guys like Nas Reed who can go on another team. They got
Who?
Miller who can go on another team.
But have those people done anything though in the playoffs?
DiVincenzo, who was a starter on the Knicks. He was with that Towns trade. He was a starter. You got Alex Walker. You also have Shannon Jr., who showed out, number 00. He had 15 points last game. They have a better bench. I mean, you have on the other side, you have an old Alex Caruso, who scored 3 points last game. Williams, he's a no-name. You really don't have.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Minnesota started Mike Conley, who is 37. 37.
Yeah, and they also started CP3. Why? Because their IQs and they don't need to score. They open up the floor for everybody else. You're not requiring Mike Conley to go out there and give you 20 points.
It looks like Tristan in the chat also agrees with Mike. It seems like he said it.
Yeah, he's always going to agree with me though. That's our homie.
Alexander Walker, 0 for 5 off the bench. I mean, let's be. They're shooting right now. Minnesota's shooting 30% at halftime.
Yeah, at halftime. I mean,
if you're shooting 30% of the game, why are you still trying to? Oh wait, that's right, because the NBA does not play the old school NBA way.
Mm-hmm.
2 points and a foul get you the same exact as a 3-pointer does.
But you also got Randall and Edwards and McDaniels, who's supposed to contribute, have 9, 8, and 3. That's not going to get the job done. You have a Rudy Gobert who has no points whatsoever on.
He's also had no shot.
Yep. Yeah, and he has no shots and he has 4 rebounds. So I mean,
2 of 5 on 3-pointers for Julius Randle. Why the heck is my power forward shooting 5 3-pointers?
He can make those.
He hasn't made any of them then.
He's made 2.
2 out of 5 is not good.
Anthony Edwards, 0 for 5. Drive the freaking ball and get to the basket, get fouled, shoot the free throw.
I mean, and then Edwards has 5 rebounds. I mean, he has more rebounds than Rudy Gobert. I mean, it just looks like if you have 9 points out of 32, yeah, that's a problem for Edwards. Edwards needed to at least to have 12, 13 points.
You need at least 15 by halftime.
Yeah, it just doesn't look. It's not good. And then the other side, you got SGA. He scored 20 points in the first half. You got
I'm ready with SGA. So
you got Holmgren who's showing up with 15. Yeah, those guys are just. I mean,
That's
And-
what I'm
I
getting.
mean-
You have to have a. That's where it's like, does Minnesota have a more balanced team? I think
Absolutely, they have the bench, but it looks like their starters, the Thunder starters, are taking over the game.
Well, they are.
Okay, yeah, they're taking over the game, and
So
so
is that the players
when
or
we
is
call
that the coach?
it's coach. They're unprepared.
So it's the coach that shoots the ball.
It's the coach that designs plays to get your guys open.
You have been a basketball coach for how many years? How often?
Man, 7 years.
7 years. How often does the play actually go out exactly planned accordingly?
Probably 80 to 90% of the time.
Man,
No, that's a lie.
that's a lie right there. You lie to your friends, I'll lie to mine. Let's not lie to each other.
That's God on his truth, hand on the damn Bible. What are we talking about here?
There
I
is
designed the
No
play.
play goes play for play statistically for that
The design of the play starts it
It
where you
makes it
dribble
defense.
drive. You're not. You have
Wait,
a
wait,
complete.
hold on. Where you do
Let me
what?
break it down. No. Let me
No,
break it down
wait,
to
you
you
just
because you
said
might
something.
not understand.
You
don't-
dribble,
no. Let me break it.
drive. That's what the NBA does
Let me
not
break it-
do. They shoot threes. That's why it's constantly going to the issues that we have that is constantly happening. Everyone thinks. and
So
guess
is
what?
it a player or is it the coach?
It's the player that's shooting the dang three.
Exactly. It's not the coach designed a play for the player to do it, and the player goes and he shoots a damn three instead of designing a play and getting himself open.
So whose fault is it? Is it the player or is it the coach? I've said constantly it's the player.
pull up. Sorry, you got to put the pull up.
So let me break it down how the coach is responsible. The coach is responsible to design a play for the player to get open. Does the play complete? There's a beginning to a finish of the play, and then you reverse it, right? So
Let me write this down.
Let me get my controller so I can control the players that are on the court. Oh wait,
Okay,
that's
so-
right. They don't have one.
So you go and you set a screen. So
Okay.
the five comes up. He sets the screen. Okay, point guard goes off of the screen. Then they switch. Now I got a mismatch. Now here's the thing: you can complete the play by throwing it to the corner. He goes underneath. You can toss it back to the guy who's a three, and he can shoot it. Or once you get off of that screen, you got the mismatch, which is called a pick and roll, and you drop it to your center because your center is the bigger guy, and you dominate there. There's sequences of the play that happens. If your player is not doing that, it becomes the player's fault. But the coach is responsible to prepare your guys. That's why you have film room. That's why you have things like shooting drills. That's why you have these things. So you prepare your team to go out there. And it's not like Minnesota hasn't seen OKC the last 4 games. So obviously you need to make adjustments, not now, but also in the halftime to be able to come out and dominate similar to what the Knicks did. The Knicks adjust very, very well. And they're more of a coach player mentality over there. But you gotta be able to adapt to both sequences. Now there is things like CP3. We want to talk about audibles and things like that. There's things like we call out 1, 2, 0, 5s or 55s, things like that where a point guard will look at me and I would say 55 because I see something in the corner, or I see the guy is on a mismatch, or I see the guy or something happen, and I say 55. Then the CP3 will go up, or the point guard will go up, and he will analyze and say, I can either go left or right, what looks like, what is the coach is saying, and what is he seeing, and he can draw up the next play. Okay, so then I could say 5, or I could say 55, right? And then I can direct my guys. So it's up to them to be prepared for that. It's up to them to make sure that they do that. Some players be able to do that on the fly. Some players are not because they're not in that sequence. So, I mean, it goes back to the coach and the preparation.
But this is what I'm getting at. The players are always worried about what? Name, image, and likeness. What is going to get them the next big contract? They want to be on every highlight reel. They want to have all the stats So they're going to shoot up the threes as much as they can. They are not going to follow the coach. There is no type of discipline. A disciplined team would run your play perfectly to execution. There is no discipline. There is no consequence. They're going to get the superstar, and the superstar is going to control the team. And I have no problem acknowledging and saying Michael Jordan, he ran the Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
When he had a problem with Jerry Krause,
it was easy. But that system, it was easy though. It's the same system that Kobe ran. It's the triangle system. Triangle system is there's right now in the league, there really is no system anymore. The triangle system is dead. They don't run the triangle anymore. And so the triangle system,
or is that the players' fault? Because you can implement that same system.
Well, they did. You've seen it through Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr has a spur of a similar. That's how he won his championships, is because he has a similar.
Michael Jordan, huh?
Well, he has he played with Phil Jackson. That's where he got the play from. So he got the triangle, and he made it to his own, and
that's why they were so good.
Championships.
He had people that were willing to follow into the system, and they were disciplined. Right now, across the NBA, you have there's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. The problem is the Chiefs are on the court. The Indians are the head coaches. The roles are reversed. The players are worried about their numbers. I got to get mine. Because when they get theirs, that's how they're able to push their next contract. At the end of the day, you're a businessman. I'm a businessman. It's about business. They want to make sure they line their pockets as much as they can. The problem is once all of a sudden a team starts being down, I mean, right now they're down by 30 in the third. What's going to happen? When you start losing so bad, what do? I got to try and catch up as fast as I can. Instead of having common sense, let me drive the ball and chip away at this 2 points. Let me get to the line. 2 points. When you look at the statistics, as of right now, Julius Randle is 1 of 3 at 2 point. On 2 point shots. He's 2 of 4 on threes. McDaniels, he is 1 of 7 on his 2 point shots, but he's 1 of 5. Anthony Edwards, he is 4 of 7 at his 2 point shots. Why are you not trying to drive the ball to get 2 points in a free throw? Is the same exact amount of points as a 3-pointer. You get people in foul trouble, you get their butts off the freaking court, and you start having to play bench players. And then guess what? It's like playing a B squad. But no, these guys are worried about, I got to make sure it looks like I got to bring my team back. I got to put the load on my back. No. You want to put the load on your back? Start dishing the ball. Start running the plays that's going to, let me get it downloaded and 2 point shot. Power forwards need to start playing like power forwards. Centers need to play like centers. Things like that. That's what I'm trying to get at. And that's the hardest thing. And that's where it's just like, no, you're going to end up always playing from behind when your first focus is the 3 point shot. And that is across the NBA.
Right.
This is a Steph Curry era. Steph Curry has created where I have to shoot threes. Everyone wants to shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest problem. That's why if you don't have if you don't have a sharpshooter, Michael Jordan had a sharpshooter with Steve Kerr. The Golden State Warriors had sharpshooters with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
And Kevin Durant.
He wasn't a sharpshooter. I'm sorry, he wasn't. He's not from threes. He was a solid, mid-range jumper. I'll give him that, but he wasn't a sharpshooter.
So, with saying all of that, going back to my next question.
We just spent 40 minutes on one question. But go ahead.
I know how y'all both feel about showboating.
Yes.
So let's move on. So
That's the great thing about this show.
So the next question I have for you guys is, how is this ending? Who's going to the finals and who's winning? So give me a quick prediction.
I'll make mine quick. OKC, and it looks like OKC is going to close it out tonight. They're going to play against the Pacers, and I think they're going to win in 5.
Okay.
Who's going to win in 5?
OKC.
We're going Thunder.
Who do you want to win?
Thunder. I
Okay.
can't stand the Pacers.
He said, yes.
Mark, who do you have, Mark?
Pacers.
Pacers.
I'm taking Pacers.
How many games?
I think it's going to take 6.
6. Okay. Dupree.
I'll say Pacers as well, but I say 7.
Okay. Pacers and all 7. I'm going with SGA and the Thunder.
Yeah, I think it's
I'd
their
probably
year.
say 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, I think it's 5 games. I don't think that the Pacers have. They have Miles Turner. He's going to be on Heinz Steen or whatever his name is. And then I mean, there's a mismatch right there with Holmgren. SGA is going to be guarded by who? You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be. Nah, he's not going to guard him. It's probably Mike Conley or who's the other guy?
You think it's going to be a competition, or you think someone's really just going to run with it?
I think OKC has the ability to blow them out. I have like there will be a couple game. I think there will be like 2 games where they'll blow them out, and then they will make it a kind of a matchup. I know it's kind of hard to win in Indiana. I think those games will be a lot more tough, but in OKC, I think that they're just going to blow them out.
Okay. Anybody else want to add to that?
Like I said, I have the Pacers going. I think it's going to be Halliburton that guards SGA. You got Siakam, who can take care of Chet Holmgren. You got Miles Turner and Top in there. You got Obi Toppin, who's great defensively. You got Mathurin, who can help. You know, they have plenty of guys that actually have the capability. Like the Pacers have a deep guard bench.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what's going to help them, because if you get somebody in foul trouble, I mean, just last night, Benedict Mathurin had 20 points off the bench.
Right.
You know, so the key is going to be to stop who? You stop SGA.
Mm-hmm.
That's your key factor. There's a reason why he's MVP. He averaged
Right.
33 points a game.
Yeah, he's a player.
You stop him. Who do they have? They're going to have to rely on a guy like Chet Holmgren.
Chad, Dort. There's a couple of guys.
You know, but that's what I'm getting. They have a deep enough bench, so that's why I'm going to stick with the Pacers. You know, just because I think, you know, I do agree. Obviously, you have a 26 point lead right now. But realistically, you don't. I mean, you got to stop. Jalen Williams at forward. That shouldn't be too difficult between Siakam, Miles Turner. You know, so your key factor to stopping OKC is stopping SGA.
Okay. Anything, Dupree?
We got the Pacers too. I feel they finally can do it the way they've been playing so far right now. But we'll have to see when it comes to game 1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to kind of see where it ends or where it goes. Still got a couple of games left to go.
Was that our final?
That was the final.
It's our finals.
Awesome. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Each and every one of you guys who tuned in. Super excited for you guys to be joining us. Again, we are very, very close to football season, and we have a lot of content to be driving for our football season as soon as this NBA is over. We have a lot of things to talk about there. Look for we have a full schedule going Monday through Friday right now. We also got Mark going on. So is going to start going on with MLB pretty soon here on Saturdays. And then we're going to start, once the season starts off, we're going to have something called the First and Goal, which is similar to your Red Zone. We also have tune in with Marshall, the Marshall Experience for all of your fantasy needs. We also have John Hamilton, who's going to be on here talking about SLM bets. And he's going to be able to tell you about your parlays, who you should bet in, who you should not, props, things like that. Super excited about those things. The way that you can get tuned in and the way that you can be able to stay plugged in is going to www.sportsloungemedia.com, and you'll be able to find all that. Go subscribe. And then we'll be doing a lot of giveaways this year. And then we'll be covering a lot of content with that for the NFL season. NFL is almost here, guys. July 31st is the first game, Hall of Fame game, and it'll be the Lions versus the Chargers in Canton, Ohio. Super excited to see some football going on here, as you know. But that's it for us today with the NBA. Next time you'll see us, we'll be talking about the finals. And yeah, and I mean, that's all I got for you. I'll leave you guys with this last thing with Sarai real quick. Tell us a little bit about – oh, why is it right there? Sorry, guys. There you go. Tell us a little bit about Hearts and House and how they can.
Yeah. So Hearts and House is just it's a local nonprofit rescue around my community. We like to basically it's an organization full of volunteers that we provide essential services. We help get these dogs that we find abandoned in our community or dumped get rehabbed and get either fostered or get adopted. So yeah. Click the QR code, take a picture, check us out. We have adoptable dogs at this time. If you'd like to make a donation, that would be great as well. It goes to all the essential services that we do for the dogs. So, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. We'll see you guys next week, same time. And hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your week and weekend.